Hey guys, Terry with Rocky Bigfoot here. I am coming to you from high above the earth in the Nerdatorium, as you can see behind me there. Just wanted to kind of give you a heads up. I hadn't posted in a little while, and I'm editing some videos for you right now that will be coming out on social media. Had a little bit of an eye injury I'm dealing with that's going on, so I'm probably not going to be in the field for a little while. It's a kind of a double vision thing. I'm getting old, but we got a new puppy, and he's very playful and poked me right in the eye. And since then, my vision's been off a little bit in one eye. Got the eye doctor working on it. Got some prescriptions coming for my glasses. We don't know if it's going to be permanent or not. We don't think so, but don't know. So anyway, this first video is going to be one that it was an eventful video, but not for the reason you might think. I got my silly butt lost in the woods. That's right. I was out somewhere. I wasn't paying attention, and I was the absolute poster child for everything you're not supposed to do when you go into the woods. So use this one and kind of do as I say, not as I do, but just use this one to learn from. But here's how this went. Hope you enjoy it. Hi guys, Rocky Bigfoot here. Headed up to the Uwharrie National Forest, a spot I had used to go to a good bit. Haven't been in a while, and I'm anxious to get back. We used to have a lot of things going on there, so a lot of strange things happen in the Uwharrie. Just wanted to bring you along with me. I've got the new DJI Pocket 3 with me that my wife gave me. Have I got a cool wife or what? So let's just see what happens. If we get some stuff going on, I'll bring you back. Right now, like I said, headed up to Uwharrie, and I'll bring you back whenever we get there and kind of get set up. Take care. Okay, and now we are looking inside my SUV. This is going to be home for the evening. Got my whoopee all set up on an inflatable air mattress. I've got a platform hooked up to the seat rest that gives you a little bit of elevation there. It's very comfortable, and it'll do really well. It'll be very comfortable for tonight. Since I don't know how long I'm going to be here, I just chose to do this rather than be in a tent. You can see all the gear, the bags in here, but I'm 6 feet tall and a pretty broad-shouldered fellow, and this is very comfortable for me. So this is going to be home sweet home. And I'll give you a walk around on the outside. And this is camp. So this is going to be home away from home for at least tonight and maybe another day, depending on the weather. We're supposed to get some rain in starting either tomorrow night or early Friday morning. So we'll just see what happens. But there we go. I am actually at the site that I had the rock thrown at me all those years ago. So this is kind of like a homecoming for me. I haven't been here in a good while. And while we're here, I just figured I would take a minute or two and show you guys some of the gear that I use. Everybody is always interested in gear. So here's some gear for you that I use. I'm not endorsed by anybody. I do not endorse anybody. I'm not sponsored by anybody. This is just stuff that I found that works well for me over the years. So here we go. Let's start with this big Frankenstein's monster looking thing here. This is an old Sony camera, a Handycam. Only shoots in 1080. This was before the days of 4K and 6K and 8K and all that nonsense. But it works really, really well for what I do because it has Sony Night Shot. That allows you to shoot in infrared at night. And I've got this tricked out with some external IR emitters that give you a little bit more light than just the little tiny emitter that it has on the camera. I'll put a link to those in the description. I think they're Sigma, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. And the camera is not made anymore. It's ancient. but it's what I got, and it works. So I use that. All right, let's move on. This guy over here, this is something that when I'm sitting in the woods, just sitting, I hook this up to listen with. It's a directional microphone. The microphone itself is a Takstar brand microphone. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put a link in the description. This is a very budget-friendly microphone, and it is something that I just kind of stumbled across. I've got all kinds of production gear at home. I do video production work. I got professional level gear at home. This thing outperforms some of the big name brands. It's amazing, and it's very affordable. So these you can catch on sale every now and then, and like I said, I'll put a link below. The recorder, rather, this is just a no-name recorder that I found and took a chance on, and it works really, really amazingly. You can also monitor from it with some earbuds, just regular old earbuds down here plugged into it. I don't know that I can find a link for this thing again, but one of the things that I would suggest you do not buy one of the name brand recorders that does not have an SD card to record to. The ones that record internally, I had a high-end name brand recorder some years ago that got outmoded and the software got discontinued for it. And I had stuff on there that I needed to get off, and I absolutely could not. I went round and round customer service for a long time, and nothing ever happened. So anyway. And this little guy is a microphone that I'll be hanging outside of my vehicle tonight, and hooked up to the little recorder while I'm sleeping. I usually do that when I'm in my tent or just sitting up in a chair at night and just let it run. And a lot of times it just gets me snoring, but sometimes you hear some interesting stuff. Tonight I'm just expecting to hear the generator and barky dogs, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Okay, here we are back. Segment 2. Let's talk about the meal tonight. As you can see, nothing fancy. We're going to have ravioli, and might even eat it cold. That's one of my favorite things. I know my wife says I'm really weird, but on a hot summer evening, cold ravioli has just always kind of done it for me. You can say do if you want to. You won't hurt my feelings whatsoever. But probably going to have a little bit of chai tea tonight as well, and that will be maybe a snack afterwards, and that will be my evening meal. I'll bring you back at breakfast and get a look at that. And lunch today, don't tell my wife because she'll fuss at me, but this is not an endorsement, but I did stop off and have a burger. So don't tell my wife. All right, that's going to be the evening meal for tonight, and we'll move on. Okay, guys, let's see how this works. I am testing out the low light characteristics of the DJI Pocket 3. Doing pretty good. I have one tiny little Lucy light way up, well, not way, but probably about 4 or 5 feet away from me on the awning up here. And that's all we got. It is pitch black right now. And we have some noisy neighbors that are moving in with some very barky dogs. So I doubt anything's going to be anywhere around here. But, you never know. Sometimes you have fun. Sometimes stuff happens. But no matter what happens, you're in the woods, and that's always a good thing. So just camping with a purpose, that's all. I'm going to just kind of sit here quietly. It is dark, and the sky is just about, it's a little gray left in it, but it's going to be, it's dark. So anyway, and that noise you hear is the people slamming around in their big gigantic RV. So as I normally do when I'm out camping like this, picked up a bunch of litter, cigarette butts, just everything. People are so disappointing. So I wouldn't want I wouldn't want anybody to think that I had left this campsite like that. It was just totally nasty. And I'll pick up a little more tomorrow. And there go the barky dogs. So this is going to be a fun night. As I said, I doubt anything is going to be anywhere within 10 miles of here. But again, anytime you're out in the woods, it's a good time. So I want to sign off now. I'll come back a little later. I've got an IR camera that I'll do a clip with, and we'll chat with you probably in another hour or two. And then I'm just going to hang out here till I get sleepy. Then I'm going to crawl in the RAV4, and we'll see you in the morning unless something happens. If it does, I'll bring you back. All right, guys, Rock Hill Bigfoot coming to you. It's dark on Night Vision, and I just wanted to check in. It's pretty quiet. It's about 20 after 9 here. I'm going to sit out for a while and see what happens. There's some folks that pulled in a big SUV trailer with some really barky dogs. So I doubt seriously anything is going to happen tonight, but stranger things have happened. And again, if nothing happens, I'm still camping. So I'll be out here tonight if anything does happen. And there go the barking dogs. You can hear them. It's going to be an interesting night. So, anyway, I think they bark at the air, or maybe a leaf or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm still going to sit up out here. They're definitely not barking at us much, because they're just not barking at us much. They've been doing this ever since they got here. So anyway, it's just one of the things that happens. And anyway, I'll check back in with you if anything happens. Otherwise, I'll see you in the morning. Okay, guys, Rock Hill Bigfoot coming to you. We're headed out. I survived the night last night. Didn't have any activity I didn't really expect to. There was just too much racket with the dogs and the generator and everything. I pity the poor dogs. Somebody just didn't train them and take care of them. So it's not the animals, it's the owners. Anyway, I am headed down to see if I can find the spot. Haven't been here in a while, and we'll just kind of see what we get to. I think I can probably get there, but who knows? If not, I'll turn around and come back. That's just the way it works. I'm on a trail, so it's not that big a deal. It's not like I'm bushwhacking through the darkest part of the Congo or something. But it's just a nice little walk this morning. So, testing out a couple of new things. I've got this rig here. I don't know how well you can see that, but let me get in some sunlight. We'll find some good lighting. Chest rig, and I just got it. It seems to be doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it so far. So I'll do a little more testing before I link it to anybody for anything, because I want to make sure it's something decent. And again, I'm not sponsored, not affiliated with anybody. I don't endorse anybody. I'm just me. So we're going to head on a little further down the trail, and I'll bring you back if anything happens or when I get there. Take care. Okay, now, here's proof that it's not always Bigfoot. This is a tree that has fallen across the path. It's a pretty big tree, but sometimes trees do fall in the woods. Okay guys, Rocky Old Bigfoot here. I am back at base camp, sitting in the shade, sipping on a Gatorade. After my walk this morning, I went out looking for an area that I hadn't been to in a long time. Didn't find it today, but I had something else happen. It's not Bigfoot related, and I'm gonna tell you the story, because hopefully it'll help somebody else. Um, I've been in the woods a lot. You know, I'm comfortable there, um, and I pretty much know how to take care of myself in the woods. There's a few things that I don't ever go in Biggie's woods without. Among those are a way to make fire, a way to collect and purify water, some type of shelter, be it a poncho or a can liner or something, a little bit of food, and a signal device, a whistle, something, a compass, and my Garmin InReach Mini. Well, guess what I did? I came up here this trip. Came up here this trip. Was in a hurry to get here yesterday, and I ran out of the house with pretty much without all of the things I just mentioned. I mean, I had go brain, go fever. I wanted to get up here and couldn't find the InReach Mini or my compass. Don't know where they ended up being. Couldn't find a couple other things. Had some snacks. Did have a bottle of water with me. I bring water whenever I go anywhere. I bring a big jug of it. But I went out on my walk this morning, and I got my happy self lost. You heard me. I got my happy self lost in the woods. And I did have a backpack on, had my film gear, of course. So I had some batteries. I knew that if I needed to start a fire, I could tear up something and start a fire. If worst came to worst and the sun started going down and I didn't make it back today. But all that other stuff I just mentioned, I had a bottle of water, a small bottle of water, and I had a couple of snacks. My goal was to go down to the meadow, this area, and have breakfast there. So I set out trekking this morning about 9 o'clock, and it is 1:45 right now, and I'm just now getting back in camp. I haven't cleaned up. I haven't done anything. So let this be a lesson. Again, as much as I've been in the woods, it can happen to anybody. You get off trail, the trail changes if you haven't been around it in a while, if you haven't walked it in a while. You miss your connector or your cut through from a forestry service road. So I just completely got turned around and had all the classic things happen to you. You start thinking, oh, I'll just keep walking and I'll get there eventually. And that's your first thing, your first instinct. And I remember thinking about 5 minutes after that thought, Terry, stop and sit down. Because that's the first thing they always recommend when you think you're lost. Stop and sit down. Take a breath. If you got some water, drink a little water. If you got a snack, eat a little snack. Give your brain and your body time to kind of come to terms with, okay, don't know where I am exactly, but I'm going to figure this out. And then you start thinking, okay, what would I do if I had to spend the night here? What have I got? What have I got with me? And of course, I have a knife and a multi-tool. I take those on my belt. I did have my phone with me, and I have a program called Backcountry Navigator in my phone. It's accurate if you know how to use it, but a lot of times it's going to take you up a mountain instead of around a mountain. which if you go over the mountain, it's a whole lot more arduous, and sometimes a little slower than if you went around the mountain, but that's kind of how it goes. So I started looking at that and kind of reconnoitered. Okay, I've got some things with me, and now that I've got some water in me and got my wits about me, let's figure out how to get home. So, of course, before I did anything else, I said a little prayer, because I believe anytime before we enter into any great journey, I need to say a prayer. So I did, and I picked up trash last night around the campsite, which I always do. So I don't know if what got me back was an answer to prayer, or karma points, or woodsman skills, which I'm claiming to be no kind of crazy, experienced woodsman. But I'll take whatever it was. So just use this as a lesson. It's the first time that's ever happened to me in my life, and it's a humbling experience. However, I did get some good pictures along the way coming back, and some good footage I'll show you in another video. But just use this for what it's worth. Maps are highly recommended, and I would recommend some kind of navigational app on your phone if you have cell service. If not, absolutely a compass and Garmin InReach Mini. You can leave breadcrumbs. So had I had that, I would have been able to find my way back without any problems. But I'm back. I'm sipping on a Gatorade, and it is the best Gatorade I've ever had in my life. So with that, I'm going to finish off my Gatorade, but I did want to record this just to kind of, while it was fresh on my mind, just to say, no matter who you are, no matter how experienced you are, it can happen. Just be prepared. Whew. Okay, guys, I made it home. I am so sorry I didn't get to record any other video coming back from this trip. It's a long story. I'll make it brief. This was my first real outing with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and I was having all kinds of trouble with it. I was getting all kinds of error messages. It would just hang up and freeze, and it's not the fault of the camera at all. It's my fault. I had a card in it that was not up to snuff, didn't meet the minimum specs for read and write speed. And I really wasn't thinking about it. I just threw a card in it. It worked great for all my other video cameras, but not so much for the Osmo. This little camera is shoving a lot of data through the pipeline really fast. And so I now have the card that I need, and everything is fine. But again, it's not the fault of the camera. It's just the fault of the operator. So you live and learn. But yeah, I'm whooped, and I had a great time. Again, I'm sorry I didn't get to record any more for you. It was just one of those things where you live and learn. So I hope you stick around. Now that I got the hang of the camera a little bit better, we're going to go on some other adventures, and I'd love for you to come along with me. So from high above the earth in the Nerdatorium, this is Rock Hill Bigfoot signing off. Okay, so what'd you think? It's pretty silly, isn't it? It's just one of those things that's never happened to me before. I make no claims about being an expert woodsman or bushcrafter or anything like that, but I can find my way around in the woods. I've been going in the woods for a long time, and this was a trail that I had been on, but not in a long time, and I got preoccupied and wasn't paying attention. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. So just kind of use this and learn from it, or enjoy it and chuckle. I won't mind a bit. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the channel. Helps out a lot. Comment if you want. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one.